Howdy folks, Kirk and Jay here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Today I want to show you guys something really interesting. We were in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and my baby, we're at a condo. We were staying for a week, vacation. I even take them every once in a while. My baby, she's looking at these walls. She says, that is a cool finish. I like that. Do you know what that is? And I thought, you're asking me if I know what kind of finish this is? This is what I do for a living. Of course I know what kind of finish it is. It is this right here, Structo-Lite. Structo-Lite. It's made by USG. And anyway, remember a born on date. If this right here says 9/28/22, which means this is a goner. And this is our second bucket because it's old, and when it gets old, it gets stiff really fast. That's gone. We just mixed that less than 5 minutes ago. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I was going to show. Now, this is Structo-Lite, one coat. This can be done on sheetrock. Now, what we were looking at was a finish that's all over Mexico. It's all over Hawaii. It's everywhere. And it's the simplest finish in the world to do. And it's called a Structo-Lite finish. That's it. It's just Structo-Lite. And it looks like worms. Looks like worms crawling through the wall. And this is it, guys. You put sheetrock on, and you put this over. You keep watching. I'm gonna show you some clips from Puerto Vallarta and the fact that this particular finish is done everywhere. Why? Because in areas with high humidity, such as Puerto Vallarta and Hawaii and many other countries, they sheetrock everything. They'll put the sheetrock, and that's it, and it's done. Now, you might say, well, if that's so easy, why isn't it done everywhere? And that's the same thing my baby. She says, well, if it's so easy, how come it isn't done everywhere and they just leave it like that? Two reasons. Because she had told me, do you know why? And I said, of course I know why. This is done everywhere, hotels all over the world, where the humidity is high, and that's it. They sheetrock it, and they just put this coat on it, and they leave it alone. And it's called a worm finish because it looks like worms are coming through. I actually added some color over here to see if it would show a little bit more, but it doesn't. So in the description of this video, I'm going to put I actually did a worm finish on the garage here about 5 years ago, and I can show you exactly where you'll see the color and you'll see the design. But right here, this is a worm finish. This is floated. This I just raked it with, I just put it on and raked it. And the bottom here, I closed my eyes. And this is yesterday. And I just gave it some scratch marks. The textures are limitless, guys. But the reason why a lot of folks don't do this, can anybody guess? Does anybody care? Because if you do this on sheetrock, say you're playing around, you're inside your house, and you have your shirt off, and you walk by it real fast, and you rub your arm against it. What's going to happen? It's going to get bloody because it'll take the skin off of your arm. Or if you're wrestling and you hit it, it'll take the skin off. Or if say you did this in the kitchen, which I'm going to show you next, condos after condos, it's done in the kitchen, bathrooms, everywhere. And some areas you could see where there's some spots because it's hard to clean it because it's porous. So let's see, as it's setting right now, it's really porous, guys, so that's why it's not done. But if you guys don't care, you say, man, I'm not worried about rubbing my skin against it or cleaning it. That's it, guys. You sheetrock your house. You put one thin-ass layer of Structo-Lite, and make sure, guys, that this born-on date is good, because if it's over 6 months old, it is going to set. I mean, this takes 3 to 5 hours to set. Jay just mixed me up that bucket. We threw it away. And this is already set. I can't even do anything with that. That's set. It's 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes for a product that takes 3 to 5 hours to set. Anyway, make sure you get some good stuff. Look at that date, and if that date is wrong, don't buy it. There was another boring detail. I might as well go into it. Structo-Lite. I had said, somebody called me and said, Kirk, you put down Structo-Lite was kind of changing their formula. I said, well, I called a bunch of my buddies and they say Structo-Lite isn't what it used to be. However, military girl, she called Structo-Lite and they said, hey, we've got a born-on date on it, and because of COVID, sometimes it would sit on the shelves. It sat in our backyard. So make sure that if you're going to do this, guys, that you have the right date. Anyway, watch the rest of this video, and this is a game changer. And every year or every 2 years, I go to Puerto Vallarta, and I think I'm going to do that video, but it's a lot of work, so I don't do it. Anyway, it's coming up, and watch the rest of this video, and you'll see how often it's used. And here's a tip, guys. You can't use it outside, and you need a bonding agent. If you're going to put this on a wall and you don't have a bonding agent, it's going to come off, guys. I'm going to show you that too, because there was a hurricane and it whipped it up to the ceiling, and what happens when it gets wet, it comes off. So anyway, put a bonding agent on it like Larson's Plaster Weld or Quickcrete white bonding agent, and this will stay forever. And look at that, guys. I mean, that's pretty solid. Just applied. That's pretty solid. Anyhow, we are in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta to be exact. We're at a hotel called the Grand Venetian. Humidity about 100. Heat, or the heat is about 102. This is Structo-Lite. Listen, it's Structo-Lite over sheetrock. How do I know it's hollow? Let's go down. This is a cementitious base over sheetrock. Structo-Lite right there. So Structo-Lite, if you get paint on it, see that? It's not coming out unless you paint it out. And how do I know this is Structo-Lite? Here, listen, it's hollow. If it was for schools, hospitals, racquetball courts, and government buildings, it wouldn't sound hollow like this. I can hear the sheetrock underneath, and there's steel studs, not wood studs, because this is a high-rise. This is what you'll hear if you tap on Structo-Lite on say a police building, or now that's solid. Oh, that's another story. That's tile coming off. Solid, loose tile, but that's not what this is about. Before we go down, we're going to go eat. And I was looking at, we just had a hurricane here a week ago. And so I was looking at some things, and I thought, well, the hurricane came this way. This is stucco forensics now. I knew which direction the hurricane came in because I looked at, this is like 25-story building. There's like 3 of them. It's called the Grand. It's really super pretty here. But anyway, look at that view, guys. Every once in a while, I do take a vacation. And why am I in a white shirt? Even on vacation? Not really, but this one's cleaner than my other filthy white shirts I generally wear. Anyhow, we're gonna go eat, and I want to show you one more thing about Structo-Lite. Now look, there's 3 of these towers right here. All of them are designed with the Structo-Lite. I'll show you something that I shouldn't be showing, but notice this right here. Now guys, Structo-Lite can be placed over sheetrock, but not outside. Why did that happen outside, even with the large overhangs to protect it from the wind? Well, just like, say, Oakland, Grizzly Peaks, and other areas like that, if you get the wind and it pushes it upward, it'll hit the Structo-Lite and it'll loosen the sheetrock. The sheetrock is not designed to get wet. And again, they have a large fascia, but it's still, with a hurricane, will take the rain and tuck it back underneath. Here's something worth mentioning. Now, what caused the dropouts there? We know what caused the dropouts. When they applied the Structo-Lite there, they did not use a bonding agent. And that was done 2 years ago. Over here we got even a fascia board which takes the rain and drops it straight down. But with a hurricane, it flips it up and takes it to the top. So always use a bonding agent over any kind of sheetrock. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that. We thank you for watching, and as usual, see you on the next one.
All right, folks, we want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoy the videos that we put out, please like and subscribe so that we can keep making these videos for everybody. And as always, from the entire Giordano family, we'll see you on the next one.